Just finished watching Sankarea episode 7, and this episode was pretty much all about Ranko, and how she met Chihiro, and how she got to know him, what was Chihiro like long ago, etc., etc. And of course, we also get more insight about how Ranko feels about Chihiro, and how this could pretty much set up a love triangle. Ranko met Chihiro at a cemetery, and it was basically love at first sight. That was until, of course, she found out that he was obsessed with zombies, and let's just say that it was a complete turnoff. Yeah, having an obsession with zombies is pretty much a turnoff for chicks of all kinds, unless they like necrophilia. We see Ranko and Chihiro watching zombie films with freaking English, because these films are supposed to be in English, but this being an anime, instead what you hear is English.
What's wrong, Adriano? Does you have a nightmare? Adriano?
First time I heard it, I kinda laughed, but whatever. Ranko's family establishes a restaurant near Chihiro's house, and this is pretty much how they kind of become neighbors, you know what I mean? And you know what, I actually found it pretty amusing that Chihiro can go to a video store and buy a zombie flick, and pretty much get away with it without any real parental supervision. But of course, we do see how Ranko still has feelings for Chihiro, and that's in the form of him defending her from a fucking dog. Brave. But of course, the past isn't what this episode is focused on entirely. We also get a little bit of scenes in the present, because this episode cuts from the past to the present. What happened back then, what's going on now, you know what I mean? Though really, we don't really see anything major except them meeting up with Chihiro's friends, who are, pretty much desperate for pussy. That, and establishing the potential love triangle between Ranko and Rhea. So any story progression has been slowed down due to this episode, which was kind of a bummer because I wanted to know what was going to happen next after the ending of the last episode. That, and we don't get to see Rhea except for like a little tiny half-a-second flashback and a few references here and there. Overall, this episode was not bad. Sure, I wanted to know what was going to happen next, but for an episode that's trying to tell a backstory, it didn't do a bad job. Well, now that this episode is pretty much done with, I am awaiting to see what is really going to go on next. What's going to go down with Rhea? Will this love triangle that they're pushing be interesting or a complete piece of shit? Now that Chihiro has pretty much found a way to, slow down the decaying process of Rhea's body, what's gonna happen now? Plus, what about Rhea's dad? What's he gonna do now that he's in full-on vengeance mode? We'll just have to see in later episodes.